Hi everyone, welcome to the primary level of KIDS ISO 14000. It's a bit of an unfamiliar name, but please remember. By the way, have you ever given up on anything because it was so difficult? It can be anything. For example, you gave up getting into the first string in a soccer team because there were too many members. Or there was a dress you wanted, but you gave it up because you couldn't save enough money to buy. The KIDS ISO 14000 program that we're going to work together on is a wonderful program because when you work on it, you can learn ways to realize the things you have given up. You might not be able to realize all your dreams, but many of the difficult tasks in this world, from small ones to big ones, are achieved using this program's method management. By using this management method, incurable diseases were cured and rockets were able to go to space. KIDS ISO 14000 aims to use this management method to tackle the environment issues our planet is facing. It's a great program. The thing is, the ISO in KIDS ISO is a symbol of worldwide agreement. If you're qualified as being able to manage conserving the environment, you will be certified with a primary level certificate in the world level. So let's try to be successful in the program and get the certificate. Now let me explain what kind of method management is. First, the program is carried out by a team. Your team is your family. You are the leader of the team. The leader who carries out management is called a manager. The job of the manager is to take total command of the program and lead it to success. Other members of the team follow the orders of the manager and carry out the program. You will carry out the program for 4 weeks. Each week consists of stages of plan, do, check, and act. 1 week is called a turn. By repeating the turns, you will improve the environmental conditions by conserving the environment and will head for your final goal. This is the procedure for management. The program will be carried out on electricity, gas, water, and the 4 R's. But here we will explain the program on electricity. Okay, now let's start the primary level of KIDS ISO 14000. First, we need to start preparation. You will learn the current status of energy conservation in your home. Now let's go through the program by following Kate's family, who's going to try the program. Kate's family consists of 5 members. Kate's grandfather, her father, her mother, Kate, and her younger brother Bill. Kate will be the leader and the manager of the team. Kate will measure how much electricity is used in a week. Using the data from this measurement as a starting point, Kate will calculate the effectiveness of the program later. For the first week, her family will spend electricity as usual and will just check the meter. In this program, for the next 3 weeks, you will check the meter on the same day of the week and at the same time. So decide on which days and time is best to do this. Kate set hers on Sunday night. Now let's first check the figures. You should also check where the electricity meter is located for your home. By the way, you will check each figure for gas and water too. This is the starting figure for Kate's home. Now let's check the meter again 1 week after Kate's family spend their days as usual. Subtract the starting figure from the figure 1 week after. This consumption amount will be the base figure for Kate's house. When Kate finds out her base figure, she will discuss with her family how much her house is saving energy. Then, as a manager, she will be the leader of this primary level program and write in evaluation figures on page 10 in the column Before Operation in Energy Saving Operation for Electricity. You evaluate yourself from 1 to 10. This is check before operation. Write a before operation check by all the items that you can work on. Cross out the items that are irrelevant to the situation at your house. This is how Kate's family made their before operation check. You can also write in your own items that you thought up. Now to the final goal. You need to decide on the final goal of each item. You don't have to write in a perfect 10. Write in a figure that you think you can achieve. Now the check for the current situation is all done. From here, you will start management for saving energy. You will carry out your plan for the next 3 weeks. We're counting on you. First, plan. Let's make a plan for the program. You will again hold a family meeting. The first thing to discuss is which items to choose for action to focus. This family meeting is to decide on the 3 items after checking the results of the current situation. You will decide on the 3 points by talking about which items are not done, which ones are items that you think will have effective results, and which items you want to try. Kate's grandfather says her family opens and closes the door of the refrigerator too often, so he says they could save energy if they're more careful on this. Kate's father says they always have the TV on at night, but they should turn it off when no one's watching. Kate's mother says they always have the air conditioning on, so they should set a certain time to turn it off. Bill says he always has the lights turned on in the hall at night because he doesn't like the dark, but he thinks they can save a lot of energy if he turns it off. So Kate summoned up opinions from her family and decided on the following 3 items to improve where the current points are low. Write in a double circle next to the items to show they are the actions to focus on the checklist on page 10. Next, decide on who will carry them out and will be responsible for achieving them. Write your decision on the plan list on page 12. Kate's family decided on the follows. Now let's decide in detail what you will do to achieve your goal. Kate's father decided to turn off the TV when no one was watching. Kate's mother decided to limit continuously running the air conditioning to 3 hours. She decided to turn it off for 1 hour in every 3 hours. Bill thought up of saving energy by turning off the lights every time he left the hall or his room. These are the plans Kate's family came up with. What kind of results do you think they will have? When everyone's role is decided, copy the final goal of each actions to focus on and let's do your best. When filling up the list of the task responsibility chart is completed, next is do. We'll move on to carrying out the plan. It's time for actually carrying out the plan for your final goal. Before carrying out the plan, let's copy down the first week figures from page 12, the current situation figures. Now you carry out the plan as you've decided. We're counting on you. How did Kate's family do? Let's check it out. First, check the meter again after you have carried out the plan. Write that figure in the second week column. Subtract the first week figure from the second week figure, and that will be your electricity consumption of the week. The result is 62 kilowatts. By carrying out their plan, Kate's family was successful in saving 5 kilowatts of energy. Next is check. We will look into in detail which plan went well and which plan didn't. In the check process, we will confirm how much each item was achieved and look back on the plan. Let's discuss this with your family again. First, write down the day that you held your family meeting. Next, copy from page 10 the family member who was responsible for carrying out the plan, points before the plan, and the points for your final goal. This item had only 2 points because the TV was turned on all the time. How many points will this item get now? After family discussion, the item "turn off the TV when no one is watching" got 5 points. It did not reach the final goal point of 8 points. Her father noticed when others forgot to turn the TV off, but he didn't notice so much when he was watching TV. It seems he forgets because he gets really interested in the program he is watching. It was up 3 points but has not achieved the final goal yet. Let's write this down on the list on page 13. Now let's see how Kate's mother did. Her job was to turn off the air conditioning 1 hour every 3 hours. This only got 1 point because it wasn't done at all, but it got 8 points now and succeeded in achieving the final goal. If an item achieved the final goal, write a line in the points that need improvement. Now let's go over how Bill did. This item got only 3 points because the lights in the hallway were on most of the time because they didn't care. After family discussion, the item got 7 points. The final goal point was 8 points, a little more to go. Now let's look back at the plan. Right, Bill noticed and did his job at night, but he didn't notice in the daytime, such as lights being kept on in the bathroom. He could achieve the goal if he did his job in the daytime too. That's why he has 1 more point to go. Now to the last stage of ACT. In ACT, you will look into what you could not do and discuss with your family about what to do in the next turn. So let's look at Kate's family meeting. First, person in charge of air conditioning switch was mother. This item got 8 points, so it has achieved its final goal. A person who has achieved his or her final goal will write completed in goal completed and end their operation. The other 2 items did not achieve their goals. How can it be achieved? Can the goal be achieved? You will talk about what was good and what was not so good with your family. Kate's father says he forgot to turn off the TV when he finished watching. They'll put up a notice by the TV and he'll be careful. Bill says he turned off the light switch at night, but it was difficult for him to notice the lights turned on in the daytime. He'll put up a notice by the switch. Kate's grandfather says he thinks it's important to not turn on the light in the daytime when there is sunlight. According to everyone's opinions, Kate came up with these acts. Kate's family often forget about what should be done, so they decided to put up a notice. They also decided not to turn on the lights when not necessary. When you have decided on the acts, you will reflect this on your plan in your next turn. In this way, the program consists of a set of plan, which you plan your program, do, in which you carry out the plan, check, in which you go over the results, and act, in which you find your problems and challenges and come up with a way to solve the problem. By repeating these turns, you will be able to find out what is needed to save energy, what is difficult, and what is effective. Now let's look at Kate's turn a little bit more. Now the program is in its second turn. You will make a plan again, considering points of improvement in your last turn. As in the first turn, you will decide on 3 actions to focus. You can try the item you weren't able to achieve in your last turn, or you can choose a new item you think will be more effective. But don't choose an item that you have achieved. Kate's family decided to try again the 2 items they were not able to achieve. The acts for achieving these items were these. Please look at these acts when deciding on the next plan and writing in the column of what you need to do to achieve the action plans. And the items that have been achieved will be finished and replaced for new items. Here too, you will discuss with your family and choose a new item. Kate's family decided on reduce the number of times to open and close the fridge. Her grandfather had brought this up before. They decided that her grandfather will be in charge of this, so let's see how Kate's family will do in their second turn. So how did the figures on the meter turn out this time? The result of subtracting the second turn from the third turn comes out to... What? Only a reduction of 1 kilowatt? What happened? Let's check and see the reason. After carrying out the plan for the second turn, Kate's family was only able to reduce 1 kilowatt. What happened? These are the results of the checking. What does this mean? According to the evaluation of Kate's family, all the items achieved their goals. Kate is also surprised. They came up with plans considering what they did in the first turn, and they achieved all their goals. And then Kate's grandfather had this to say. Her grandfather says, "Everyone did their best and he thinks the operation went very well." But this does not mean the figures improve all the time. Saving of electricity can be very much affected by the climate. Kate is puzzled and asks why. And her grandfather answers, "The air conditioner uses a lot more energy compared to fluorescent lights, TVs, and refrigerators, which we try to reduce the use this time. Compared to last week, it suddenly became very hot this week, so they must have used a lot of electricity using the air conditioner." Kate says, "So you're saying the operation was a failure?" Her grandfather answers, "No, that's not correct. In this heat, their electricity consumption did not go up. It actually went down, and he thinks this is great." Kate's mother says that's why the plan she tackled on the air conditioner produced big results, and they were able to reduce 5 kilowatts of consumption in the first turn. Now you will do the same in your third turn, carrying out plan, do, check, and act. When you repeat this program, you will discover many new things and you will be able to understand the mechanisms for saving energy step by step. If you achieve all the items on the list, think up of new items on your own and add them on the checklist and try those. When you have completed your third turn, evaluate yourself on your achievement by writing in the final evaluation of the program in the very right column of the last checklist. We will also carry out the 4 R's in parallel with our operations of electricity, gas, and water. 4 R's stand for refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. They are the R's for reducing garbage. So let's reduce garbage in your home by using this 4R method. Refuse means to refuse things that can become garbage. For example, using your own bag for shopping and refusing excessive wrapping. Next is reduce. It means to think of how to reduce garbage. It means you should be careful in not creating more garbage, for example, by not buying unnecessary things and not buying disposable things. Next is reuse. For example, fixing broken things and using it again, or altering clothes that you've grown out of into a new design and wearing it again so to reduce garbage. The last is recycle. When you separate plastic bottles, glass, and paper, for example, these materials can be recycled into new products. First, let's check which garbage you can separate and recycle in the town you live in. When you find out which garbage can be separated, write that down in page 40. When you do that, check the days of when the garbage trucks pick up your garbage. As with the electricity operation, decide on 3 actions to focus on in the checklist, come up with a goal, and carry out the PDCA management for the 4 R's. But in the 4 R's, the calculation for do is a bit different. For burnable and unburnable garbage, weigh them. Weigh yourself on a scale holding the garbage bag if it's a big one. After that, weigh yourself without the garbage and subtract your weight from the first figure and you will get how much the garbage weighs. If you don't have a scale in your home, write how big the bag is or the number of bags. Even if you don't have the exact figure, you will be able to know if the garbage has increased or decreased. You will measure the amount of recyclable garbage by each item. Count the number of cans, glass bottles, plastic bottles, milk cartons, and newspapers. Morning paper and evening paper should be counted as one set. Also, separate them into recyclable garbage and reusable garbage. Let's take glass bottles, for example. Glass bottles that go to the garbage dump will be considered recyclable garbage, and bottles that is returned to the liquor shop or bottles that you will reuse at home will be reusable garbage. If there are 10 bottles, you will write in 10 as a denominator for both. If 8 of the bottles are recyclable garbage and 2 are reusable garbage, then write in 8 and 2 respectively for numerators. The rest is the same with electricity, gas, and water operations. Carry out the check and act for the 3 turns. When all the operation is completed, let's wrap that up in the summary page. Copy down all the consumption amount from before the operation to the 3rd turn in the summary chart. Also, write in the number of your family member. Next, we will calculate the average amount of consumption per day. Consumption amount divided by 7 will be the average amount of consumption per day. When 1 week electricity consumption was 62 kilowatts per hour, and when you divide this number by 7, it'll become 8.8577. You will round the figure to the nearest second decimal, so the average daily electricity consumption will be 8.86 kilowatts per hour. Do the same with other items. Next, let's calculate the average daily consumption for one person. Divide the average daily consumption that you just calculated by the number of your family member. For example, Kate's family has 5 members, so divide the average daily consumption of 8.86 kilowatts per hour by 5, and you will get 1.772 kilowatts per hour. Round up to the nearest second decimal as you did before, and write down 1.77 kilowatts per hour. When you have written everything down, do the same for the second and third turn. When you have filled out everything in the chart, make it into a graph so it's easier to see the trend. You can see the changes when you made different plans and why more easily with a graph. But the calculation is a bit different for garbage. For garbage calculation, wrap up the recyclable garbage amount on page 54 and find out the recycling rate and the reuse rate at your home. First, choose 3 kinds of garbage you want to calculate. If you want to choose an item not on the list, write it down. When you have decided on the 3, write it in the bracket in each chart. Next, let's express how much you recycled and reused in percentages. First, copy down all the figures for recycle and reuse that came out of your operation. When you have copied it down, let's get the percentages of recycle rate and the reuse rate. You will get the percentages by dividing the numerator by the denominator and multiplying 100 to that figure. The results of Kate's family came to this. So now let's make a graph like the ones for electricity and gas. In the graph, use blue for recycle and red for reuse. Lastly, look back and wrap up the program. For example, for your family to save energy, what did you do as a leader? What kind of problems were there? For energy version, choose electricity or gas and copy them down on page 12, 14, and 16. The content of the plan in each turn is what you need to copy. Look back on what you did and evaluate yourself. Write a circle for the things you were able to achieve and X for things you couldn't do. You should look at the check column for each turn for this. If it's a circle, write in goal achieved, and if it's an X, write in how you can achieve the goal. You should look at the act column in each turn. Write down how you felt finishing the program and have your family members write down comments too. When you complete the program and are certified by the International Committee of Artec, an international certificate will be issued. Write in your information needed for the international certificate in the last page of your primary level workbook. The certificate will have your name in English, so write your name in English. When you acquire the method of management, you will be able to use this method in school and even when you graduate school. Please make good use of your management skills in your future stages. Please tackle difficult and hard problems that you thought you could not solve before. Now we are counting on your success in the primary level. Good luck! When you have completed KIDS ISO 14000 primary level, you can try the middle level. In the middle level, you will go out of your homes and you will tackle environmental problems in your region and schools in groups with a wider scope. You will be a team leader of a bigger group and you will be able to learn more about being a higher level manager.